Matt, you've just opened up two new branches in Luton and St Ives. What learnings have you learnt that you could share with the guys in estate agency land?
Well, it's interesting because when we opened Gigs and Co 6 years ago, I had quite a big budget, if you like, and even though it was our first office, I managed to get enough funds to really go at it quite hard for the first year. And sometimes that works for you, and sometimes it works against you. What I learned in this time round was that we were still spending money that we didn't really need to spend on certain things which don't make any real difference. For me, the keys to getting a successful business off the ground are having a clear plan and a clear why, but also having the right people.
Okay.
I've got a recruitment strategy which is getting more rigid by the year, and that's So first thing is can you do it? Second thing is will you do it? And the third thing is team fit. So can you do it? Have you got the intelligence to work the way we want you to work that fits our values as an organisation? Will you do it? Do you have the attitude? Have you got the right attitude? Will you do it? And the third thing is, do you fit into our organisation and our values? Do you do the right thing? And treat people how you wish to be treated. So for me, it's getting that clearer as each branch is opened. I feel we're pretty much at our best in terms of the people that are in our business. And funnily enough, we had just over a year ago, we had a similar number of people working in the whole of the organisations, but we were mainly based out of one office.
Yes.
Now we've got a similar amount of people working in our organisations, but we're across 3 different geographical areas.
Interesting, the 2 offices that you've opened up, obviously you've gone into some form of a joint venture or equity split because you've split the name up.
Yeah. So we're doing 2. So we're over the next 6 to 12 months, we'll be growing the Gigs group with either associates. So Chris, you might not have equity to put in, but you might want to grow you might want to have your own business and be in control of your time, which we understand. So you would come in as a Gigs and Co self-employed associate, and we'll give you all of the things that have worked and the training and the development that's relevant to our market in the UK.
Is that anywhere in the UK?
I think
or you
primarily in the southeast.
Southeast.
Yeah, where we're able to offer way more value and insight. I think first of all, we've got to make sure that who we're working with at the moment, all of the challenges that they come across, we overcome. So what I've found is when we've opened Gigs and Bell, March or something 2017, we've now opened Gigs and McGrath 18 months later. We've invested half the funds in a partnership. So
that's different from the associate.
It's different than the associate. It's like a joint directorship model, and we both have equity in the business.
Okay, and what have you learned from opening those?
Well, again, for me, it's all about being prepared. It's going into your market, knowing who you want to work with, knowing the things that work. So, for example, video content, making sure that we use our connections, our network, make sure those people that I work with are completely trusted. Talent isn't enough, right? Talent is not enough. How many talented people have you worked with over the years who have failed miserably? Talent's one thing, trust is the other. So those 2 things, coming into business with someone, you have to have those fundamentals. And don't forget the merge with Noonan Gigs. I mean, Joanne, 9 years of growing her own business, Noonan Crane. I'd been growing my lettings portfolio. Putting those 2 together was a real big challenge. It took 6 months of real effort to get a team to come out of it that's pretty amazing, actually. I mean, we had loads of challenges. 6 months later, we've got a really good business and managing 400 properties. So,
Okay. What else have you learned from either the associates or the partnerships?
What else have I learned? That you have to keep training people. You have to keep teaching. You have to keep learning. One of the big things for me at the moment is putting a training plan together that everybody can access all of the time. that's relevant to the markets that we work in. So, for example, when you're in we have different things that we buyers market, sellers market. Well, we just say we've got one thing, that's our market. We make our market, full stop.
I'm interested about this associate role. So what you're saying is if there's someone out there that probably can't afford to go 50-50 in with you, you're still prepared to bring them under the Gigs banner and they almost work like a self-employed agent in their town?
I think
what can they expect from you? Because you're quite well known in the industry.
Yeah,
you're not one of these people that talks the talk but then doesn't.
No, completely.
You don't mind. I know you didn't know this was happening, but I'm going to keep you on your feet.
Yeah, no, for sure. What can they expect from me? Well, they can expect to come in. So, for example, we would say you're going to go self-employed. We're looking at giving interest-free loans up to 2 years. Okay, so to help them for the first 2 years.
Is that to because a lot of these people got rent,
6 months
to pay.
They'll get 6 months paid, and it will just become a loan. Now, some people might need 10,000, 20,000, 15,000, but we want to be in a position because we want to bring the right people in that have got trust and talent.
Yes.
That main fear, which is an understandable fear, is alleviated, and they have a payback function that can kick in around 2 years. They can pay back within that period, but it works for them. Now, we're in a position where it looks like that the self-employed model will work for us quite nicely in a town because we've just proved with Damien, he's 2 months into Gigs and McGrath.
He's flying, isn't he?
He's flying. He's sold, 12, 13 properties in the first 2 months, 3 months, and he's got around 25 listings available for sale.
Love your video, by the way.
Oh, it's good, wasn't it?
It's lovely.
Yeah, we love that. That's our style. We know that. So we know that there are people out there like Damien, like Derek. Plus, we've just brought in somebody else who's self-employed. Who's been a sales manager, regional manager, who they've got a family. They didn't have the spare capital to go and say, well, I'm going to go and open my own brand. They can come in and they have got their control. But to be honest with you, what we've already found is that they want to kind of work in the team. They want to get into that feeling. So they spend at least 4 weeks at Gigs & Co. They get a clear plan. They get clear forecasting. They get marketing schedules. They get somebody who can hold their hand through getting the action taken, which isn't me, believe it or not, because I'm rubbish at that bit.
What?
Following up.
What, the accountability
The accountability bit. Believe it or not, that isn't one of my strengths. No, it genuinely isn't one of my strengths. The accountability.
So what you're good at is getting the message and motivating people, but you've realised through self-awareness that
you need someone who can ask questions, who will schedule when those questions are coming back, the coach time, so if you've got somebody they're brilliant people, but they lose control of their time.
Yes.
Right? And they're not always clear on what they're supposed to be doing and when. Well, I've got someone who will help that person prioritise.
Is this the same lady that keeps you on your toes?
So I someone who's kept me on my toes for over a year, and that's not just my wife. So it's having.
She does tell you, let's not mention her name, but she does keep you on your toes.
She
mate.
does, yeah.
She keeps me on my toes.
What was funny, the other morning I was having a bit of a strop, and she absolutely tore me to pieces. And I thought, you know what, fair play. So we've got somebody that and around that we've got people in the business that I can think of 3 or 4 ladies, funnily enough, who are quite happy to follow up and ask those questions because they know that the strengths of that person, they need that regularity and that
well, we do. As estate agents need that. We're very good with people talking the talk, and it's all about walking the walk and following it through.
Well, massively. You get more out of somebody asking you questions and keeping you on top of doing the things that you don't want to do.
That's brilliant.
So,
because there's a few associate models out there, but there's no one that I'm aware of that offers that.
No, look, they'll get
away from the boss.
So they'll get how to tackle all of the challenges in today's market. I'm telling you now, what we're doing at the moment. I'm so proud about how we're achieving things at the moment. In the last 3 months, we've extended our lead as number 1 agent, and we're producing great results in new businesses. We're attracting some brilliant people to the organisation. And, this all happened probably at the end of last year when I had a realization that I'd lost the plot for a year, 18 months, where I
You'd
allowed,
lost your sparkle.
I lost my sparkle.
I saw that.
and that was really difficult to understand. You know, at Christmas, I remember being at a Christmas party, and a lady who worked for me back then, she said, "Oh, you just don't seem yourself." I said, "I'm not." Christmas Day wasn't myself. I was pulled in different directions. I was chasing different visions, more for significance than I was for purpose. And what I mean by that is I was chasing other people's visions, not mine. And, you know, I'd worked really hard on the Gigs group and the Gigs & Co team, and we've built this fantastic group. And all those people were seeing me off doing these other things, probably going, well, what about us? Or what are we doing now? Where are we going? And actually, it took that realization to just go back down to doing what we know works, what's relevant to our country, relevant to our market towns, implementing these things rather than just talking about them, testing out stuff, measuring stuff, failing at stuff, and actually getting things better and making progress. And it's just been refreshing. And I think, you know, where I am today is the best I've been in 23 years. And where I was a year ago was probably one of the lowest periods I had. And that was just after this great event, and there's all these different things going on, and you start to believe your own hype a little bit. Actually, no, this has been the best 3 months of my career.
Done, mate.
Thanks.